Good evening, everyone. We welcome you to this webinar, and it gives me immense pleasure to introduce our distinguished speaker today. Many of us know him already, Dr. Abhay M. Shankar Gowda. He is a luminary in the field of naturopathy and yoga, and he is currently serving as the professor and principal, having a very illustrious academic background with BNYS and MD from STM Naturopathy and Yogic Sciences College. And he's a gold medalist in MD yoga, which was the first batch of its kind in the country. And Dr. Shankar Goda has spent over 23 years in advancements of naturopathy and yoga and has been working since then, helping a lot of undergraduates and postgraduates, as well as in clinical practice and research. Dr. Shankar Goda has made remarkable contributions, such as establishing departments, OPDs, hospitals, organizing mass yoga camps, and many conferences. His expertise extends to delivering health talks and conducting lifestyle camps, and he has inspired a lot of people in the country. Beyond this, he has also held significant roles as Pro Vice Chancellor at SVYASA, Swami Vivekanand Shubharti University, and as a member of Academic Subcommittee of Yoga and Naturopathy under the Ministry of Ayush, Government of India. Currently, he is also Dean of Faculty of Ayush. He's fluent in 8 languages and a dynamic speaker, and we are very privileged to hear him today. And we are very privileged to have him. And we are welcoming Dr. Abhay M. Shankar Gowda to share his insights with us. Today, he'll speak about how we can leverage university and UGC resources for research excellence and become a proficient researcher. We welcome you, sir, at this webinar, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Aditi and Pradeep, and as well as all the members of AAYM. And I'll be sharing my screen and then let's start so that. Uh, okay. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. The topic given to me is leveraging university and UGC resources for research excellence. It is a guide to becoming a proficient researcher. Now, before we move on, we should be aware what is research excellence. So, a high quality, impactful, and ethical research contributing to academic and societal advancement is something like a definition of research excellence. Now, why this is required? What is high quality? High quality in the sense, see, if someone does a research which is like with a very less number of participants, or it is not really creating an impact in the scientific world, or it is not ethically done, or it doesn't contribute much to the academics, as well as the final goal of any research should be societal advancement. That is, it should be useful for the society, that is mankind at large. If someone does a research which has no meaning at all, which doesn't serve any purpose at all, then it is of no use. And hence, research excellence is very, very important when we talk about any research planning or starting a research. Now, importance of research in integrative medicine, again, it addresses the holistic health challenges which we have, combines evidence-based traditional and modern medical practices. Now, what has happened is modern medicine or modern medical practices are highly research-based, but the traditional methods or the ancient methods in India, especially, are of course very effective. I mean, clinically, when we see, they are very, very effective, but there is no research proof as advanced as the modern medical practices. So now this is very, very important that we create an evidence. If we say that massage is very good for what you call back pain, then we should have definite numbers. How many people were given this massage? How much improvement it was? What percentage it is when it came back? Every other detail like that. That is called as the evidence-based traditional what you call evidence-based practice for evidence-based practice, we need evidence-based what you call research, and that has to come into academics. That has to be taught to the students. The students have to do research and then move on further for clinical practice. Aditi and Pradeep, I hope there are a lot of students also, so I am being a little more descriptive rather than addressing some doctors or clinicians or something like that. I
Yes.
hope that's the audience what I am having.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Um, Coming to what is the role of universities and UGC? Um, the universities and UGC provide platforms, resources, and funding for quality research. They foster collaboration and innovation among researchers, educators, and students. Now, what is this? We are going to see in the further slides. So, if there is no platform for research, for example, a person who is having a small clinic, he also can do research. It's not that he cannot do research, but it becomes very expensive for him. It becomes very time consuming. And also, he has to have the drive for that, interest for that. But if it is in a university setup, the university already is having the labs, the resources, the kind of environment required for research, and the number of patients coming in, and so many other things, which will be very, very helpful for the person to do research. That is the platform and the resources. And funding for quality research. See, no research can be free. For example, if you want to do a simple research on hemoglobin, whether one of the diet what we provide is affecting the hemoglobin, simple test like hemoglobin test also, or whether it is iron content in the blood, whatever test we are going to do, those tests are going to cost. And who is going to fund this? If the person is doing on his own, then he'll have to spend the money on his own, or the patient is burdened. So if there is funding from the background itself, then quality research is possible. Now, fosters collaboration and innovation among researchers. Now, educators and also students. Now, what is collaboration and innovation? See, sometimes what happens is I have a hospital, or I have a small setup, and I do not have a lab which can do all those tests which are required. For example, if I want to test the what you call objective parameters for pain, like prostaglandin or something like that, instead of just simply a pain's analog scale. So that would be very expensive, and for that we require a collaboration with a company, with a hospital, or with a laboratory, or some other institution which would help us in what you call supporting this research, and that will be facilitated by either UGC or the university. Now, understanding research excellence, again, the foundational principles, rigor, that is very important, that continuously one has to work, reproducibility and relevance, very, very important. See, if I am doing a research here in Meerut, that is in Subharti University, the same research is done somewhere else, then it should reproduce the results. Then only it is a very, very viable research. See, if I am doing this research and the same parameters are being used in another place also, and one research shows that there is improvement, and one research shows that there is negative impact, so that is not a good research. And then there is relevance. See, for example, today Alzheimer's is of relevance. Today diabetes mellitus is of relevance. I'm just giving a few examples. Lifestyle disorders are of a lot of, I mean, in 2000, COVID was very relevant. It is not that relevant right now. So the relevance is very important because that should be finally useful for the society. Next is the ethical considerations in research. See, research is one thing which has to have a lot of what you call ethical consideration, which is very, very important. Ethics is very important. Whether someone is watching us, whether someone is observing us or not, we should see that we are doing the research very, very sincerely, because it is going to affect the lives of thousands of people or millions of people. That's very important, that we consider the ethical nature of the research methodology. Next, coming to the characteristics of proficient researchers, curiosity and critical thinking, very, very important. Unless and until someone is very curious, he will not get ideas, and he will not be able to critically think. Now, what is critical thinking? Critical thinking is one has to dig, one has to criticize himself first rather than criticizing somebody else's work. If this is done, what is going to happen? If this is done, what is going to happen? That critical thinking is very important in a researcher. Strong communication and writing skills. Now, communication, not necessarily only speaking, writing skills are very, very important, because I have seen some when I evaluate some PhD thesis or something like that. I have seen they use very complicated words. Now, this complicated word is not understood by a student, not understood by everybody. He has to go and search the dictionary. Now, if he has to go and search the dictionary, then he is not reaching the people who are really wanting to understand his research. So that should not be done. It should be simple, plain writing, and very much understandable by everybody. That means strong communication. Writing skills, again, grammatical errors, one small if, of, or whatever will make a lot of difference when we write a research. So the right use of words, grammar is very, very important, punctuations, everything. Now, networking and collaborative abilities, very, very important. See, if I think that I'm sitting here in Meerut and I will not talk to anybody and I don't want anybody's help, that would be very, very difficult for a researcher. So a proficient researcher would always have friendly connections and collaborations with others, so that he gets a lot of resources. Now, the role of integrative medicine research, evidence synthesis for complementary practices. Now, when I say complementary, because in the modern world it is called complementary, I believe we are the mainstream medicine, and rest everything is complementary. That is my belief, but because it is the general terminology used, so I am using the word here, complementary practices. Um, we have to have evidence. As I said, traditional medicine or the historical background what we have with the Ayush practices or yoga, all these things, they are all very effective. But unless and until we show the world that they are effective scientifically, I mean, we create some what you call evidence, people will not believe us, or they will start criticizing us, or they will say these are quacks. Instead of that, when if we give them a publication, a research which is very ethical and very viable kind of publication, which is having a high impact factor, then people would accept it. We need not go and convince somebody that we are very effective or our therapies are very effective. Addressing gaps in healthcare delivery. Now, what has happened is either one follows modern medicine alone, or some people opt for the other methods like Ayush or yoga and something like that. But the gap, if they all come together, let's say there is a small problem like back pain. If there is some panchakarma used, some massage therapy from naturopathy, some yoga practices for back pain, some painkillers when it is very, very acute, or some homeopathic medicine to prevent further. So if we combine all these things, that becomes integrative medicine, and it addresses the gaps in healthcare delivery. Because if we go to the modern medicine, if only the analgesics or painkillers were the solution, then there would have been nothing like a chronic back pain or something like that, right? So if we manage acute things through modern medicine, and then on the long run we utilize these other methods which we are very popular of, and we are very, very effective, then this healthcare delivery gap in the healthcare delivery would be filled in. Coming to the key resources offered by the universities, first one is the infrastructure and facilities. Now, state-of-the-art laboratories for clinical and preclinical studies are available with the universities. See, if there is a university, it is having a medical college, let's say, then the state-of-the-art laboratories are already in place. Either they are NABL accredited, they are NAC accredited, or some international accreditation is already there, and that's why the laboratories are already available in place. uh, whether for clinical studies or preclinical studies. And libraries and digital repositories. See, every university has a vast collection of books, journals, databases like PubMed and Scopus, etc. And hence it is not very difficult for the individual. But individually, if I want to access a paid what you call database, is very difficult. But a university has already these accesses. Next, coming to the research centers and specialized units focused on integrative medicine, Ayurveda or yoga, are very important for what you call doing this integrative medicine research, and such units are already started. I hope you are all aware that major universities worldwide already have integrative medicine units, like Harvard is having, University of California is having, almost all the I mean top universities are having one department called as integrative medicine department, and they are doing this already. Coming to mentorship and guidance, experienced faculty in any university, subject matter experts are there in diverse disciplines. They would help in understanding the subject, and they would guide properly. And there are regular workshops and seminars also. That is skill building sessions for proposal writing, publishing, and statistical analysis, etc. So in any university, there should be a statistician, there should be a statistics department. Publishing and writing is very easy because there are other people who are doing it already. They are seniors, professors who would be able to guide and also conduct some workshops and seminars on this. Funding opportunities, again, there are internal grants provided by universities, like they are called as research seed grants or junior faculty research awards. Now, what is this seed money or seed grant? See, once a student, let's say a student wants to start a research, from where will he bring money? From where will he access the laboratory? That's very difficult. So every university has this research seed grants, wherein the student applies. He gives his proposal that I want to do this research, and for this research, this is the budget, and I need some money. And the university gives that is called as seed money. And then also there are some of the universities providing junior faculty research awards. Now, let's say he took a seed money, and then the amount exceeded or not exceeded, it's okay. But once he has a very good research coming out, then he would be given some award, which will be usually in cash and certification or that kind of recognition, which would be very helpful for him in the future also. Also, we have university industry collaborations partnering for translational research. Now, every university has an industry collaboration. It's very important now. UGC also has made it very much mandatory. NAC is very much particular about industry collaboration. Now, what is an industry collaboration? For example, in the medical field, let's say there is another hospital which is of a higher nature or of a better quality, then collaboration, or maybe internship programs or joint research programs. These are the partnering things where in university industry collaborations, or there is some pharmaceutical company or a herbal manufacturing company which requires academic help from our side, and they require they require academic help, and we require funding and the material for research. Now, peer networks, again, research groups, collaboration opportunities within university departments. See, now interdisciplinary research is very upcoming now. That is one for example, a department of orthopedics. The department of orthopedics now doesn't do only the orthopedics research. It also combines with the department of medicine or department of radiology, and then these collaboration opportunities are there within the university when there are a lot of departments. Student and alumni networks for interdisciplinary ideas and partnerships. See, whenever an alumni goes out, he always wants to do something for his mother institution, alma mater. And if he is in a position, if he is in an institution where he can contribute to the research of the university, then he definitely does that. And that is very much available in a university. Now, there are structured university research cells in the university which have administrative setup like a director, faculty members, research associates, administrative staff, etc. Then there are funding sources like university budget or grants from external agencies, industry partnerships, and I hope you all know about corporate social responsibility initiatives. Like, for example, some company wants to work on some maybe malaria or HIV or something like that. They are ready to give some fund. That's called as corporate social responsibility. They want to do something for the society. They may be a technical company, but they are not related with the medical field, but they want to do something good for the society, and that's why they would fund that. So that is industry partnership and CSR initiatives. Technology and infrastructure, again, um, research management tools like iRace, Authenticate are available in the universities. Online portals for funding opportunities and project monitoring, which would require authentication from the university that this is a student or a faculty of our university and they are doing this research. And then laboratories, libraries, and digital repositories, as we already discussed. Coming to the objectives of the research cells, again, it promotes research culture that is encourages inquiry and innovation, facilitates resource utilization, help researchers access available facilities and funding, capacity building, that is conduct training programs for skill development. See, without skill, one would not be able to do a research. For example, one wants to do a research with the an HRV equipment, heart rate variability equipment. See, he cannot be always dependent on a technician or somebody. He should be able to work on this HRV machine by himself. He should know how the leads are to be connected. He should know how the software has to be assessed. He should also know how the statistical, what you call, calculations are done. All field, he has to be a master in all these fields, and that is capacity building, that is training programs for the skill development. Then collaborations, interdisciplinary and interinstitutional research. For example, one university uh, collaborates with another organization or another university or international university, and they do research. Multicentric researchers are very, very popular now because the multicentric researchers are more what you call authenticated, because if it works in India, it should work in United States. If it works in United States, it should work in Europe. So that's why interinstitutional research is also very much important. Ensure compliance. It is guide researchers on ethical practices and regulatory requirements. Every investigation or every research has some rules and regulations, and somebody will be monitoring that through a committee in the university. It is called as University Ethics Committee, or Institutional Ethics Committee, IEC. So that regulatory requirements are taken care by them, and encourage dissemination, that is support publishing in reputed journals and presenting at conferences. I hope most of the students know that if you have a very good research, then the university also supports for publishing, whether it is for editing it, writing it, or then sending it to the publisher and then getting it published also in the reputed journal. And maybe if there are national or international conferences, they help you in travel and various other monetary benefits also to go and present the paper. The other functions of research cells are proposal development, that is support for researchers, like offer templates and examples for writing grant proposals, conduct workshops on proposal writing, mentorship programs like pairing junior researchers with experienced faculty, guidance on research methodology and data analysis, ethics review, institutional ethics committee for project approvals, ensuring adherence to ethical guidelines for human and animal studies. Um, Funding and grants management, again, identifying the opportunities. So what happens is, if you simply Google, you may not get a funding organization. So there are professors, there are people who are already associated with various institutions who provide funding, and they know already, so they guide you people, that is the junior faculty or the students. They guide that if you apply for this grant, you may get for this program, because this research, because their aim, their see, every institution has a particular aim, that we should fund this kind of research. We should be able to promote this kind of research. So these people, the senior people, will be knowing where it is done, how it is done, and that's why the database of ongoing and upcoming grants are available with them. Many institutions simply advertise that we are having this funding opportunity, you apply, but students will not get access to that. But in an university setup, it will be able to get that, because either UGC or those organizations contact the university directly, or Association of Indian Universities contacts the university, and that information is disseminated. Assistance in grant applications helps with the budget preparation and submission process, monitor the project progress to ensure timely reporting. Now, the research cells, again, capacity building initiatives like workshops and training, which I already, uh, explained, like skill development in statistical tools, like for example, SPSS. SPSS is a software for statistical analysis, and the use of it is not known by everyone. Um, that training the university can give, because people are there already available who know about SPSS. They already also have this software, also paid software versions are already available with universities, and that would be very, very beneficial. If you want to individually purchase that, then it is very, very difficult. Plagiarism software like Turnitin, Zotero, EndNote are all available with the libraries in the what you call departments, or the universities, who simply you'll have to send to them. They check it, and then they tell that this is the level of plagiarism, and you may have to improve the writing skills. The conferences and seminars, again, they organize events to showcase research outcomes, provide platforms for networking and collaboration, again. And collaborations and networking, again, internal collaboration, that is interdepartmental projects, like I said, orthopedics and radiology. So that is interdisciplinary, and also multidisciplinary challenges. For example, the medical department and the engineering department in a university, if an engineering college is there and a medical department is there. I'll give you a small example. uh, our university here, the engineering students have developed a uh, very simple equipment for what you call heating the patient. When the patient requires heating in the winter, they have developed a blanket which is very, very economical, very easy. It would be very, very difficult if we purchase for every patient. Okay, so that opportunity is always there. Um, Okay, we have time still. External collaboration, again, partnerships with industry, research organizations, and international universities, as I already discussed, is also very much possible in the universities. And these are the functions of the research cells. Community engagement, undertake projects with social impact, addressing local healthcare needs. See, for example, um, a particular place may have a particular disease which is of a lot of important, like for example, fluorosis is very common in some of the areas. Or we can malaria is very common in some of the areas. So specific social impacting healthcare needs which are there, that can be addressed by community engagement through the university. If you go as an individual, it is very difficult, but if you go with the university name, then it would be very, very helpful. Quality assurance, again, periodic review of research output. See, monitor publications, patents, and other deliverables are very much possible in a university. Like, for example, there is someone to guide you, there's someone to see the progress of your research, track the research, how it is going, and what are the other steps to be taken to make it further better. Track the impact of research on academic rankings and societal benefits. Promoting ethical research, that is plagiarism, is one very important thing which is very, very common nowadays. And also resolution mechanisms and compliance with UGC guidelines for publication in UGC care list journals, as well as other databases like PubMed or Scopus, etc. And also dissemination of research, that is publishing assistance. I already discussed this. Research showcasing, the annual research expos. You might have heard about hackathons in engineering colleges. Similarly, there are idea competitions in the medical field, digital repositories for open access dissemination of thesis and papers. Usually universities have their own publication, that is monthly there is a what you call newsletter, or their own journal, scientific journal or something, where your research can be showcased. Um, like for example, of research cells and their activities, uh, there is something called as a research promotion cell, and then there is innovation and incubation center. See, if you have, let's say in the marketing field, if someone, I don't know how many of you are aware of programs like Shark Tank. People come with ideas, and then they are funded by them, what you call I mean the larger companies, and then the program, the product what they are having becomes really marketable, and then they go into a very a big success. Now that is called as incubation. If someone helps to incubate, then the student or the junior faculty would go into a better innovation, and that will help to begin a startup. I think you have heard what is a startup. So that is, it supports startups. And then patents, very important. See, when we think of research, we only think about clinical research, right? So this equipment which I just discussed, that the engineering college designed for heating the patient, has been granted a patent. They applied for a patent. It is a unique idea, and the patent is in their name, those students name. So that is also one way of improvising or making it better. For example, if we if we formulate a set of yoga practices for a particular disease, then we can take a copyright of that this practice done in this sequence, in these, for this much time and for this much duration, etc. We can, one can have a copyright, that is called as intellectual property rights. IPR cell is there in the research cell. And then we have international collaboration offices also, which facilitates the MOUs, that is Memorandum of Understanding with foreign universities, and it provides funding for joint research projects. Now, some of the best practices, if somebody is already in a university, please do note down these things. That is, dedicated research portal is very important, a centralized platform to access information on funding, guidelines, and workshops. Regular updates, that is periodic newsletters highlighting funding calls, achievements, and upcoming events. Recognition and reward, that is incentives for high impact publications and securing grants. Annual awards for outstanding research contributions. The capacity building is also very important. Focus on emerging tools and technologies like artificial intelligence, bioinformatics, and data science. Now, these are not very well addressed by everyone. That should be very, very essential in the universities now. Feedback mechanism, again, the collect inputs from researchers to improve the cell activities. That is also very important. If someone is working in a university or in a educational institution, I think you should suggest these things if they are not already there. Um, Coming to UGC, what UGC is doing? UGC provides research fellowship schemes like junior research fellowship, senior research fellowship, SRF, JRF, postdoctoral fellowships for women candidates, especially encourages women researchers to continue academic pursuits after PhD. For SCST candidates, which promotes inclusivity by supporting marginalized groups in research. And the eligibility for JRF or SRF and all, they are well described in the UGC portal. You will have to simply go to the UGC website and browse for the various eligibility, as well as the funding amounts, and especially the stipend, how much stipend you get, and all that. Of course, If your research is of quality, if your proposal is of quality, then only they do that. It's not that any research is funded, but it is very easy. But you'll have to go behind it, follow it up. That's very important. Coming to research grant schemes, that is, other than this, for example, PhD or JRF or SRF, we have research. Anybody can do this research grant scheme. A student can do a minor research project or a major research project, or a faculty can do this. But only thing, faculty members who are experienced should be associated with you. You cannot do it alone if you are a fresher. That's one thing. Funding is available for these researchers through UGC. There are a lot of the application format and all is available on the UGC website. You can just go and browse. Other than this, institutional support schemes are there. That is special assistance program by UGC. That is to strengthen the specific departments within the universities based on research potential. For example, if a department wants to do particular research, and it is a very important topic, it is of very good societal impact, then UGC what you call funds for upgrading the laboratory, upgrading the department and the facilities in the department for the research. That is a departmental research support, DRS, that is initial phase to develop research capabilities. Then Center of Advanced Studies, that is advanced phase for recognized centers of excellence. Is let's say an institution is already doing a particular research. They have about 10 publications and they want to go further in that field and do very bigger research. Then the Centers for Advanced Studies are funded by UGC. Universities with the potential for excellence is also one of the what you call schemes. That is, objective is to identify and fund universities with the capability to achieve global standards in research. The grants for infrastructure development, faculty training, and collaborative research are provided by this. A college with potential, for example, not necessarily a university itself. If even a small college wants to do this, the objective is to promote quality research in colleges and enhance the academic standards. The details are on the UGC website. Capacity building programs, again, UGC facilitates the faculty development programs to train and upskill the faculty in research methodologies, tools, and technologies. National and international travel grants are available through UGC, but the eligibility is researchers presenting papers at reputed conferences. Startup grants for young faculty, that is recently appointed faculty in colleges and universities, to provide initial funding for setting up research labs and projects, that is startup grants. Um, Also, uh, digital and open access resource. See, there are so many free digital accesses by UGC which can be accessed when one person is in a university or a college. That, like for example, Shodh Ganga, it is a repository for Indian thesis and dissertations. So, lot of studies. See, for example, if you are going to start a study and then you are, there may be someone already doing that study and it is a waste. You are repeating the same study. So if you go to the Shodh Ganga, you can access researches which are already being done, or they already been done, I mean under process. Shodh Gangotri is a repository for research proposals. um, for example, uh, you are just starting a research, you are writing a synopsis, and you can go through these repository in the Shodh Gangotri and find out what people are interested in, why people are doing in this field, and the gap can be identified, and you can fill that gap. Then InflipNet, information and library network, is one more resource which has a lot of e-journals, e-books, and databases for researchers. The initiatives under InflipNet are again e-Shodh Sindhu, access to digital resources for universities, and Vidwan portal, that is expert database for networking and collaboration. See, what happens is, maybe Dr. Pradeep is doing a research, and I don't know that he's doing that research. Maybe he's doing on cancer, and I am also interested in doing the similar research. And then if I go to the Vidwan portal, I can find that Dr. Pradeep is already doing such a research, or he has started doing such a research, and I can contact him there, and we can collaborate together, and it will become a bigger research project and a better quality research project. That's how the expert database, that is Vidwan portal, will be beneficial. Coming to collaborative and innovative programs by UGC, inter-university centers, that is, multiple universities are given opportunities to collaborate, and maybe one university is given the physical facility, one university is given the academic responsibility. So, like that, there are many plans there. Um, it is mainly for accelerator based research, UGC DAE consortium for scientific research, and all these things to promote the collaborative research and resource sharing among the universities. See, one university may have a advanced lab, another university may not have that advanced lab. So this lab will be used by them, and their resources will be used by the first university. Excuse me. Next is the scheme for transdisciplinary research for India's developing economy, that is short formed as TRIDE. Um, the focus is interdisciplinary and transdisciplinary research. The components are workshops and seminars to strengthen research capabilities, funding for multidisciplinary projects, and third is support for high impact socially relevant projects. So, for all these, funding is given by UGC. Consortium for Academic and Research Ethics, that is CARE. The objective is to ensure quality in academic publication. Activities are to maintain and update the UGC CARE list of reputed journals. What has happened is there are a lot of predatory journals, there are a lot of fake journals which are coming up. Now, the UGC CARE list is periodically updated. That is also one of the uh, I mean, work of this consortium for academic and research ethics. Coming to the schemes for research infrastructure development, scheme for infrastructure development ideas, it's called as ideas, development in science and technology to develop and modernize research facilities in the universities. Then basic scientific research BSR scheme, that is science departments in universities especially get this, and strengthening the infrastructure and promoting scientific research. Um, Incentive and recognition schemes like research awards are there, innovative awards and competitions are there through UGC, which encourages the researchers. The impact of UGC, what you call research initiatives or schemes seen so far is improved research quality, enhanced access to funding and infrastructure has led to higher quality publications and patents. Increased inclusivity, dedicated schemes for marginalized groups, foster diversity in research. That is, for example, women or marginalized financially, or they are SC, ST groups, and such people who are thought to be marginalized groups. They are also supported by UGC very much. That improves the inclusivity. Like they are given more what you call access to these facilities. Then global recognition, funding and collaboration opportunities have elevated India's presence in the global research community. Capacity building, faculty and students gain valuable skills through training and exposure. Translational research focus on real world applications, particularly in health, environment, and technology. See, um, how one now step by step guide, if I want to summarize, leveraging the resources. All these resources are available. Many people know, many people don't know. I hope by this lecture, you are now aware at least what are those. I am sharing this PowerPoint also, Dr. Pradeep. So if someone needs it, please do give them. Or you can, I mean, if you are publishing this video, then anyway they will be have accessing. I mean, they will be having the access to this. Building research skills again. That is. Skill acquisition, literature review, data analysis, and research ethics are very, very important. If you have these skills, then it would be very, very beneficial. You have to Leverage the resources what are available through UGC or the university for the skill acquisition. Unless and until you go and read, you study, that is, do the literature review required, how data analysis is done, you don't understand, and you understand what is research ethics, it is not possible to do a good research. Then tools and techniques are also very, very important. Softwares like SPSS or EndNote for referencing, etc., can be learned. You have an environment, the libraries provide this environment. Databases like PubMed, Cochrane for evidence synthesis are already available. So you will have to learn to use these research skills. Next, applying for grants and fellowships. It is how to write a proposal, clear objectives, robust methodology. Unless and until the methodology is good, nobody is going to sanction you a fund. And expected outcomes, very, very important. You should be clear about the expected outcomes. Now, budget justification, detailing required resources. This will all be helped by your seniors, not to worry, but then you should be having the clear cut idea of how much budget is required, how it will be utilized. If you write a budget which is not justifiable, then the whole project will be just simply rejected because of that. So you have to be very, very clear. And compliance with UGC and university guidelines is very, very important. So reading the rules and regulations. For example, every university has a university promotion, university research promotion uh, mm, document. Uh, so this document you should read properly. Those are the guidelines which will guide you, tell you how much funding you will get, what was the nature of funding, how you have to apply, where you have to apply, and all those things. Details are given in the university guidelines. Same with the UGC. Also, you have to go to the UGC website, download these documents, read them properly, understand them properly, and that's how you can apply for grants and fellowships. Now, collaborating with experts, again, networking in conferences and workshops is very, very important. You have to attend some conferences, workshops, and that's how you get contacts. You understand people, what they are doing outside. Uh, uh, Instead of just looking at your own well, you'll have to explore the river and the sea. Go outside. That's very important. So, networking in conference and workshops, interdisciplinary research projects combining Ayush, biotechnology, and modern medicine is very, very important. Let me give you an example. In our university here, the oncology department is doing a joint research with our college, that is using yoga, meditation, dietary modification, that is integrating the non-pharmacological methods, also doing a study. So that's way what will happen is, um, though that knowledge which is not yet established, now that knowledge can be established through this evidence. So that's how interdisciplinary research projects can, they would get a better funding because they are already established. There are larger organizations like ICMR who give lot of fundings. Ministry of Ayush gives lot of funding. So one can, if we integrate, if we, do interdisciplinary research, then we can access these funds and facilities. Next is publishing and disseminating the research. Targeting quality journals is very important. You should know what are the quality journals, high impact, indexed in UGC care list, PubMed, Scopus, etc. Is very, very important. You should understand how to what you call, see which is a good journal, which is a bad journal, which is a predatory journal. Should do a lot of study. Someone who knows about these journals, you can discuss with them. Ethical practices in publication, avoiding plagiarism, very, very important. Do not copy and paste. Do not, uh, uh, what's that AI thing, Pradeep, just now?
This artificial intelligence, ChatGPT.
Chat GPT and all that. No, please do not use them. They are really going to spoil your career. They are going to really, what you call, you can learn how to write and all that from that, but then you should have your authentic writing skills. It's very, very important. If you copy and paste, it is going to affect you at one or the other level. Maybe the proposal itself will be rejected by the institutional ethical committee itself, or when it goes for funding or somewhere, it will be really not acknowledged. So avoiding plagiarism, acknowledging contribution, that is also very important. Sometimes what we do is we take help of somebody for doing this research, or we take a scale which is developed by somebody else. We should acknowledge, we should, because their work is also as important as the work what we are doing. So acknowledging these contributions is very, very important. We should say thanks to them, maybe in the first page where there is acknowledgement, or at the end of the paper where you are publishing, this acknowledgement should be very much present. Then using open access platforms, like maximizing the reach and impact, is very important. Now there are a lot of paid journals which may be accessed by very few people, but if you use open access platforms, then those platforms will reach to many people. um, Identifying the research areas. Now, the key point in everything is now uh, the identifying the research areas. If you do not identify the perfect research area or a good research area, then maybe the whole what you call exercise what you have done may be wasted. So emerging trends in integrative medicine should be identified, like for example, gut microbiome, herbal therapeutics, etc. These are now trending. So just a few examples. And healthcare challenges like chronic diseases, lifestyle disorders, mental health issues. These are all now what you call the prime importance emerging trends in healthcare. So these can be focused at. And then there are challenges also. The common challenges is lack of awareness about available resources. I think by today, those who have listened at least properly, they will be aware that there are so many resources available. Difficulty in accessing international journals, that is solved, because if you are in a university setup or a college setup, that will be easily available. Limited funding for long-term projects, if that also can be addressed by these funding opportunities. Navigating administrative processes for approvals is also very important, which will be helped by your seniors if you are doing it in a academic environment. Now, the solutions are again awareness campaigns, orientation programs for students and researchers, institutional support, dedicated research cells to guide grant applications, collaborative funding, partnering with the NGOs, industry, and international bodies, and streamlined processes, that is digitizing workflows for faster approvals. Now, all these are already the government is doing. Like, for example, Satyam project. I'm just giving an example. Satyam is a government project where we apply for funding and all that. Yeah, if you just have a login ID, you can start applying for the funding sitting in your house. There is no need to go to New Delhi office or anywhere. You can sit at home, write your proposal, write the budget and everything. Only at the end, if they call you in the final this thing, you'll have to go for a presentation. Otherwise, everything can be done digitally. Just giving an example that we are all already advanced. Uh, some successful researchers, like for example, this is just an example. Ayurvedic formulation research leveraged university lab facilities for preclinical studies, secured UGC funding for clinical trials, published result in a high impact journal. This is how an Ayurvedic formulation research can be done. For example, you know that some herb is very useful for a particular disease. First, you will have to use the lab facilities in the university for preclinical studies. Then get on based on that, you can get a funding for clinical trial. And once you get a funding for clinical trial and get a good result, you can publish it in a high impact journal. Another example, collaborative yoga research, partnership between departments of psychology and yoga sciences, yogic sciences, or utilized digital resources for meta-analysis, impactful presentation at an international conference. This can be one more way of like how collaborative yoga research can be done. You see, for example, the orthopedics department here is asking us to come and, I mean, they see the patient, they diagnose, and then they give, for one group they give their treatment, and for one group they give their treatment plus our treatment, and for one group, if they say, okay, I mean, because there are a lot of ethical considerations also in a medical college, NMC has a lot of rules. If they feel that they do not need a pharmacological intervention, then purely naturopathy yoga treatments are given. So it becomes three groups, and what is the best result out of the three, we can see. So that's how partnership can be done through departments, and that would be very, very helpful. Now, research in integrative medicine, future directions, expanding multidisciplinary collaborations, very important, incorporating artificial intelligence, genomics into traditional medicine studies, very, very important. Prioritizing translational research, that is converting findings into practical healthcare solutions. See, if you simply publish a paper, this is very good for this, it doesn't help that way. It has to practically reach the society, every individual. If, for example, if you prove that um, uh, initial diabetes can be managed with integrative medicine or with the non-pharmacological setup, then you will have to prove it and then make it reach to the people who are actually doing. For example, most of the diabetics go to the Department of Medicine. So the that is MD medicine physicians, they should be already aware that this is a practical healthcare solution. Unless and until that we do, we cannot reach the masses. Next is harnessing the global opportunities, that is participating in international consortiums, applying for global grants like Horizon Europe or NIH, etc., is also very important in the future for integrative medicine research. Now, university and UGC resources are pivotal for achieving research excellence. Strategic utilization can empower researchers, educators, and students to make significant contributions to integrative medicine. Focus on continuous learning, ethical practices, and collaborative efforts. See, this ethical, I have repeated many number of times. I hope you are understanding the importance of that. All right. The point ethical is coming again and again. That is very, very important. Explore UGC's digital platforms for academic resources. Regularly participate in workshops on grant writing and publishing. Uh, Form interdisciplinary teams to broaden research perspectives. Prioritize publishing in high quality journals for greater impact. And that is the future direction for integrative medicine. I'm very, very thankful to AAYM and Pradeep, Aarti, Preeti, who are all here. Unnati also, I think I'm seeing online, for giving me this opportunity. And I hope I could bring in some information which the students would like to know. Are there any questions or anything? I think I'm in time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is indeed like so. This extremely showing you the academic excellence you possess, and like you have just walked us through the entirety of professional research, where you sitting at the helm of one of the reputed university in India, and we could see that there are a lot of unexplored areas, underutilized areas. Where we have still a lot of goal. Even me being in research for so long, there are many areas which you have highlighted today. And I think it will be very useful to our entire audience. And there are few questions from our audience which you could.
Yeah, one thing just I would like to add, Pradeep, here.
Yes,
Uh, this was a specific topic which you gave me, this UGC and university resources.
right.
So there are other resources also which can be used for funding and a lot of other things.
Okay.
Other things also, but I have, because there is only 1 hour time, so
Yes.
I have been very like specific here. Okay.
Yeah. So actually, it is very resourceful, sir. Actually, like even if we could explore 20% of what you have shown, it would have been very beneficial.
Yeah.
Sir,
Any questions?
question what one of our audience has is like, what is the difference between intellectual property and copyright?
Both are intellectual property. Into what copyright is nothing but intellectual property, right?
Okay.
Okay. See, let's say I am writing a poem, or I am writing a song, or I am composing a song, and that song is copied by somebody else and he claims that it is his. So what, we do not have any proof that it is originally ours. So if we have a copyright, then we can show a certificate which is I mean authorized by the government of India. That is IPR cell, it is called as intellectual property rights cell. So we can say that this is my song, you cannot copy. We can go to the court also. So that is simple as that. I mean, it is showing that this is my original work.
Okay, sir. Sir, there is one more question. The POP Professor of Practice by UGC. Can you just share something about that?
Absolutely. Now, professor of practice in UGC is given for people. See, usually till now, what was there that one has to become an assistant professor, then an associate professor, then a professor. He has to work so many years to become a professor. So many other rules were there. But then now, the National Education Policy, NEP 2020, I hope you are all aware of that, um, is focusing on industry requirements. Employability of an student is the most important thing which is given in NEP, because finally what is the use of education? It is for getting a job or maybe his own business or something like that. Now where do you get that? You get it in an industry in the sense it may be a factory, it may be a hospital, it may be a educational institution, wherever where he is going to work. Now where he is going to work, for example, a automobile industry, let's take an example. What exactly the skills are required in an automobile industry from an engineering student who is doing engineering in automobiles? If he doesn't have those skills, if he doesn't have that knowledge, he is useless for that what you call job, right? Now, for that, what they are saying is already who has worked in the industry for these many years, who is a very good entrepreneur, who is a master in the field practically. He may not be teaching anybody, but practically he has experienced everything, maybe marketing, maybe what you call the clinical skill or whatever it is. If, let's say a doctor who has worked for 20 years in his clinic and he is very successful. Now, he is a good professor, right? So that's called as a professor of practice in any field.
Thank you, sir. Sir, how to access paid or subscription-based data like Scopus, databases like Scopus Web of Science, if it's institutional does not have an access for the same? Is there any way other than that?
Now, it is almost mandatory for all the universities to have access. The libraries have to have this access because NAC accreditation is compulsory. And if NAC accreditation is compulsory, then they have to have access to these databases. So there is no point
Okay.
in this thing.
And correct. And one more question, like whether the funding agencies check for AI usage when we send proposals.
Absolutely. Because plagiarism check is done at the institution level, first of all. That's why ethics, 10 times I have told in the presentation because of that. Because AI is one thing which is now going to affect these ethical considerations, copy, paste, and all these things, plagiarism especially. The institutional ethical committee has to have a certificate from the institutional what you call plagiarism checking software first. If it is less than 10, some institutions say 15%, some institutions say 10%. So if this is less than 10%, usually, then only it will be accepted. So if the plagiarism is more than 10%, usually when artificial intelligence is used, the plagiarism comes very high, very high.
Okay, so one more question, if a person is not currently affiliated to a university, whether he can get access to UGC facility, especially in terms of statistical tools or libraries, or is there a possibility for them to join the research cells?
One best way of doing this is if he is really interested and he's not a very big what you call company or something like that, he can approach a university. He can go to a university in the interested field, in the interested this thing, that department where he want to do, and then he can ask them, let us collaborate. I have these facilities, you have these facilities. Let's do a inter disciplinary research proposal. So that will be a something like a MOU, memorandum of understanding. One, like for example, Internships. I'm just giving a simple example because students are there, they should understand. So once a college wants to send somebody to another hospital where they want to do internship for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, then they have an understanding between them. It will be a written document that we will be sending you students, you will be training them, your food will be given or accommodation will be given or it is paid or whatever. Such a understanding is there between the two institutions, and those institutions can work on that. Similarly for research, that I have these resources, you have these resources, we can share these resources and come out with a good outcome of this research. If you can convince somebody in a university, then you have all the resources of the university.
Sorry. There is another one question, like how we can encourage our college to have an institutional ethic committee and provide access to paid research papers.
um I mean, see, I am working right now in a university setup, so every university has these facilities. Even if it is like, for example, I have been in Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences also. So RGHS has its own institutional ethical committee. RGHS has its own what you call access to these databases, etc. So those can be simply asked through the college for access to them. Otherwise, an institutional ethical committee is a simple committee which can be formed inside. It is an internal committee. There is nothing that one or two expert members are to be there. For example, some professor is required, HOD is required, and from the inside the institution, and one industrial partner is required. One partner in the sense who is into that field. Okay, and one may be a researcher already who is a researcher from outside organization or a government organization. So, like if I say about naturopathy, like someone from CCRYN could be, requested for becoming an ethical committee member who is a researcher there. So they can definitely be there.
Okay. So the next question is like, sir, do online surveys require IEC approval?
Ethical committee approvals?
Yes, sir.
No, survey is not such a, like, it is not going to harm anyone or anybody. See, basically, ethical committee looks into things whether we are harming an individual. Like, for example, you might have heard about Hitler doing some researches on the brain. So such what you call harm, whether it is done, smaller harms also, whether we are neglecting a patient. For example, for back pain, I said to you that orthopedics person also gives a treatment, and we also give a treatment. But for a patient with where you want to keep him as a control, let's say, we are not going to give allopathy treatment also, and our naturopathy treatment or yoga treatment also, but we are simply keeping him as a control for 15 days. Now we are neglecting him both the treatments. Now that is not ethically right. But if the what you call online form is not of much of a personal information, or if you are not sharing this information with anybody, and there is a clause there that I understand the terms and conditions of this, and my information will not be shared if you what you call that, Pradeep, uh, if you give a statement before the this thing, when I accept the terms and conditions,
Conflict
something
of
like that is.
interest.
If that is there and they agree for that, it is their personal information. They want to give, they will give. Otherwise, they will just close the form. So IEC approval may not be required for simple, what you call, this thing. But if it has some confidential information, for example, you're doing it on HIV patients, and the patient doesn't want people to know that he's having HIV at all. So such cases maybe you'll have to think of.
Consent form. Sorry, some
Yeah, consent form.
corrected consent.
Yeah, consent form. Because it came out suddenly though. Yeah.
So somebody asked how to connect with you if they want to have some interaction with you or some guidance. Uh,
Uh, um, do you have a group where you can circulate my contact, or should I tell my number here itself?
we will share your email, sir, probably with the participants. So if they have
Yes.
something, maybe they can reach out.
Yeah. Anybody wants, you can share the email,
Yeah.
or you can also put it on the what you call this video where you are going to publish.
So
Maybe at
YouTube
the end
and
you can put my email also. No problem.
yeah. So yeah, thank you very much, sir. That was a very wonderful session, like we'll ever remember. And I like it's a very overwhelming session, sir. In fact, like for researcher like me, and I am very sure that what we lacked 10 years back now, it's an early exposure to most of us, like most of our students who are early MDs or midlife researchers. And it will be wonderful to have you, sir. And we look forward to collaborate with you in future also in different projects as well as different programs like this. And also for the audience, the next session will be on 7, where Professor Bhushan Patwardhan will be speaking, one of the prolific researcher of our age in integrative medicine. And also to answer all these questions, what Dr. Abhay Shankar Gowda has just explained, how to get into research and identify different resources, and how to become a successful biomedical researcher. AOIM is also offering a 6-month fellowship program on advanced biomedical research and statistics, which will be starting from 26 December. So there is early bird registration, and there is an entrance exam also going to be there, where we will be supporting 3 students for carrying out this particular fellowship. And I also want you guys to see the likes of the prolific professor like Dr. Abhay Shankar Gowda also. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us, and it is a pleasure to have you, and wishes to your.
Thank you, AIM and also Pradeep, and please convey my regards to Dr. Indranil.
Yes,
Tell him my hello, and thanks for
sure.
I mean
Thank you very
giving
much.
me this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pradeep. Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night, sir. Thank you.